The event called Know Your Candidates of the PCCNSW 2022 election.
Good morning.
So, to start with, I would like to request to introduce our host this morning to be Ronaldo and Ethel. So I would like to request Ethel to say a short prayer for this morning's event. Please, thank you, Ethel.
Is it alright? Can I ask you to stand up?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want, you can leave.
That's too much. Alright. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support. As we begin this meeting, help us engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. And
Amen.
Thank you very much, Ethel, for that short prayer. Formally, I would like to welcome all the candidates in this morning's event. We have candidates on both sides from the two competing groups. The groups are called the True Team and the Team Back2Basics. Correct?
Correct.
So thank you for coming and for giving us your precious time to join us in this morning's event. Everybody knows that the PCCNSW election will be happening tomorrow, and it's not yet too late to have this Know Your Candidate forum, because as long as the election is not happening, every candidate has an equal chance, given opportunity to see the last speech to the voters. So I would like to request each candidate other topics or discussions that are relevant to the affairs of the PCC and SW election tomorrow. So let's start with Cesar, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ronaldo, and good morning to all our viewers in your YouTube channel. Ronaldo Villaver, being a past president of PCC in New South Wales, took the initiative of calling on the candidates to come together and over a cup of coffee discuss what is in store for the council in the future, or in the next year in the future. Now, yours truly is Cesar Bartolome. I am at the moment one of the aspirants for the top post or the presidency of the Philippine Community Council of New South Wales, which is the recognized body or umbrella of all Filipino-Australian associations here in New South Wales. There may be others that are non-affiliated, but at the moment we have, I think, 57 affiliated organizations. I've been with this council, I've worked with the council, I would say, since 2004, and this will be, I think, the second time that I will be running for president, the first time being in 2007 or 15 years ago. I feel that there's still something that I have to do. There is an unfinished business, I would say. I have so many things in my mind to do to uplift the image of the community and of this council in the wider Filipino-Australian community. That's why I am running again. Currently, I am the Vice President External, and I've been also a Vice President Internal of this council, aside from being a director. So now that the council is on its 31st year, I believe and I feel that it is about time, just like owning a house, owning a car, or owning anything material, it's time for an upgrade. It's time for a rejuvenation. It's time for a reconstruction. It's time to restart and rebrand to something new, but on the basis of the past. We will be considering our experiences in the past towards and use that as a tool towards the future. So, of disagreements, some disunity amongst the community, which is, I would say, normal and like similar to all other Filipino community organizations all over the world. But I know we can do something to correct this disunity. Please note that 31 years ago and after 18 presidents, we continued to be successful in maintaining the reputation of PCC New South Wales as the peak body here in New South Wales. So we have to look and go back to the basics, looking at the objectives. We have 6 objectives, that's why we call it a Back2Basics. And see if the projects that we are conducting, the projects that we are delivering, are aligned to our objectives. There are many projects, I would say, or yes, that makes us look like an ordinary association, not a big body, like in the sense, or in effect, sometimes we do projects as a council, and we do not do we do projects that somewhat coming from the affiliates, and somewhat they say are competing with them. So we have to look at this. There are a lot of problems that we have to fix. So look at the basics, look at the objectives, deep dive into it, understand it, and see if everything is aligned. So, because my background is project management, my experience is more on delivering projects and defining our scope. First, what is our scope? And that I would say are our objectives, and that is what we will deliver. You know? Now, when it comes to our disunity, what are the sources of disagreements in the community? I would say number one is our bylaws. I would say at the moment the bylaws are some inconsistencies. There are some parts in it that are contradictory to itself, to some provisions in it, and we have to correct this. We have to look at the root causes of these disagreements. That's why I am advocating and I'm proposing that immediately, if ever I become elected, I ever win these elections tomorrow, the first thing that I will do is irritants and disagreements amongst us. And perhaps at the end of the day, we come out with a covenant and everyone will sign it. And let there be peace with everybody. Let us call a ceasefire on all these bickerings and all this throwing of mud against each other. So that is the first thing that we have to solve. Let us solve and find out to resolve our disagreements. I think that is all for now, and see you tomorrow during our elections. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cesar. We'll be back with you in our succeeding question and answer portion. From your group, I will jump to the other group first. We just have an alternate. So we have 2 vice presidents candidate from the True Team. And I would like to start with Bobby, please. Demi. Demi, please introduce yourself and in a 1 minute or 2, just a brief statement for now. Thank you, Demi. Would you like me to go closer to you so that you will be heard clearly over here?
So you can be heard. Be heard, everybody.
No, this will be okay over here.
Much better. Okay. You.
Thank you for the invite, Ronaldo. My name is Demi Robinson. I am running for the Vice President External, and under the True Team, we have a team that is passionate and really energetic and is full of, how do you call this? Qualified or non-qualified people that are in the community right now, and for which we think will contribute to the better status of our big body organization. On behalf of the candidate for the president, Mr. Ferdy Francisco, I relay his message that he is willing and able to do what is important for the community. Okay? We are not doing this as just something that we are, how do you call it? This is what you call of life. This to put together a plan to uplift the image of the Filipino community. So sa amin, we are what you call, we have a slogan or a platform under the values of transparency, respect, unity, and empowerment. Yung apat pong yun ay yun ang pinagbabasehan namin para tumakbo. Hindi po sa dahil meron kaming mga personal grudges against other community leaders, hindi po yan. Ang pinag-uusapan po ay yung mga proseso na nangyayari within our community organizations, the big body organizations for that matter. Kaya po, wala naman po kaming personal dyan, walang personal talaga. Maski po yung appointment ng ating returning officer, wala pong personal yan. Puro lang yan, binibigay po yan ang mga natawag na messages para alam natin lahat. Para po, kung magboto kayo sa bukas, alam nyo kung sino po yung sincere at saka meron pong may counting nalalaman tungkol sa pagpatakbo ng isang big body organization. Tama po yung sabi ni Mr. Bartolome. Yung big body organization po ay hindi nagko-kompetensya sa kanilang mga members, yung affiliates. Dapat ang big body po ay malaki ang responsibilidad na mapabuti ang kalagayan ng ating mga affiliates. So, kaya po, kami sa True Team po, yan po ang aming hangad. Matulungan kayo, lalo na po ito sasabihin ko sa inyo, I don't know if I have to say this again, but noong pong 2019, ang PCC po ay nakakuha ng grant ng 40,000 through the efforts po of June Vilunia, yung pong presidente namin sa Pasig, which I represent. Yung po ang mga bagay na gusto namin ibigay sa inyo as affiliates. Meron po tayong tinatawag na contribution, kailangan kumbaga ibalik natin sa affiliates kung paano maging successful tayong lahat ng Filipino community. So, kasi po, kami po ni Cesar at si Jess, di naman po kami magkakaaway. Magkakalaban lang sa politika.
Binoto kita sa workers.
Tatapalit sa community.
Exactly.
Iba-ibang platform.
So wala yan, wala po yan. Kaya sa inyo, hinahangad ko po na kayo po sana ay makinig sa mga sasabihin ng aming kandidato sa True. Kasi po, yan lang po ang hangad namin. Mapabuti ang ating big body organization. Just as Cesar has mentioned, we want a dynamic and good leadership in the big body organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Demi, for that statement from your side. So let's jump on to Jess. Please, Jess, introduce yourself. But before that, Jess, I would like to welcome Ellen and SP, who are both candidates as well, and let me welcome Dimi as well earlier. So, sir, good morning. Take your seat, please. So, have a seat.
We are exchanging places only because of the microphone.
Again, this event is being live streamed via the YouTube channel of Philippines in Australia. So everything is recorded online. So what you say here is everything is recorded. Everybody, the community will be able to view it and review it many times. It's recorded. It's via YouTube channel, Ellen.
Okay.
So let's proceed to Jess. SP and Ellen will have the opportunity to say a few words later on. So we started, we are now with Jess now. Go ahead, Jess.
Okay, thank you, Ronaldo. And before I start, I'd like to express my gratitude for what you have done,
Thank you.
because we now have the opportunity to see the other candidates. Now, actually, we are all here, right? Because we believe in PCC, right? Otherwise, we'll not be wasting our. There are many ups and downs, but it's still a work in progress. But that's not really out of the extraordinary. You know? Even venerable institutions like the Roman Catholic Church is a work in progress. Alright? So you should expect that PCC will always be a work in progress. Now, I am a relative newcomer to PCC. I started working with PCC in the last 2 years, and I volunteered to be a member of the Constitutional Amendment Committee.
Okay.
And that was quite a good experience because it gave me some insights into some of the basic issues. And so, after that work, and actually some of the proposals will be presented for approval in the special general meeting. Now, I just thought that as a follow-up, I should be in the arena, okay, not from the outside looking in. But so I decided to, to at least run for an executive board position. So I'm actually running for the position of a treasurer.
Yes.
So that is my first reason. The second reason is I believe that I can bring to the table something for the position of the treasurer. And for the information of the group, I am in public practice. I'm a registered tax agent and an ASIC registered self-managed super fund auditor. Okay, so to get those licenses, you must be at a minimum a member of an accounting body. So I am a member of the CPA and a fellow of the Institute of Public Accountants and a fellow of the Financial Services Institute of Australasia. So that's at the minimum. But I don't want to dwell on that because we are talking about community-based organization. So really, what can I bring to PCC? So I'd like to concentrate on the things that I have done in the community-based settings. So I was the foundation treasurer. The first position was as a foundation treasurer. That was before I became president. I'm also proud to say that the candidates, the top two candidates, Cesar and Ferdy, we all became presidents of the Philippine-Australian Engineers Association. So there is a pedigree, some sort of a pedigree in that association. And then I also got involved in charities. So if you're familiar with AIDS Bradbury charity in Blacktown, AIDS Bradbury. So community clubs like the Provost Club at Castle Hill. So I've done either auditing job or treasury job, and even in religious organizations like the Blacktown Commission of the Legion of Mary. So I was the treasurer there for 6 years. So those are the range of the things that I've done. Prior to that, I had 25 years of corporate experience. In organizations like Westpac, IAG, and News Limited. I was lucky to get some good roles in those associations. But I'm now retired.
Okay.
I'm just concentrating on my own
Business.
public practice. So that's where I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Jess. I would like to I request Ethel to proceed with introducing the next speaker, being my co-host in this morning's event. Ethel?
I would like to introduce Bobby for the next speaker.
Okay, Bob. Can I request you to move closer to... Huh?
Para marinig ka.
So, we would like to have everyone equal. Bob, thanks for coming. Go ahead, Bob.
Good morning, Ronaldo. Thank you for organizing this Meet the Candidates. It's a good opportunity for all of us to articulate our vision and our aspiration for the Filipino community. I know that we all have personal or collective aspiration, but for me, it's another time for me to come in through the invitation of the true team of Manong Ferdi to serve the community. In 2014, I was elected the director. First time I was exposed at a not so good conduct of the way meetings are supposed to be done. Minutes are going out in public before confirmation of the council. There's so much disrespect for officers within the meeting. And I drafted a code of conduct for the conduct of meetings, or for the conduct that affects all of the affiliates as well. It wasn't acted. No one wanted to do it. At that time, in 2016, I was the vice president internal, and I saw disparities and a lot of bad conduct in elections. Again, I drafted a document addressing conflict of interest, addressing how dispute and resolution management. Again, it was not acted. What does it tell me? It tells me that you cannot put new wine in old wine skins, or you cannot put new ideas into old mindsets. You can get new results with old behaviors. So I think I'm coming back to put meat into these new issues. We've been politicized so much that PCC has lost the reason for being. That we're supposed to be all friends with common aspiration to make our Australian life better. But we all end up with the Philippine style of politics, which is not really the case. This time around, I'm running as a BP internal under Manong Ferdi. And I look at the way we advocacy groups and sports or other interest groups. And these voices of these groups are really lost within the debate, because even within the narrative of PCC, because their voices are not taken into account. They're only listened to when there are big activities. This time around, my plan is to activate this grouping as ad hoc groupings, and they will create their own leadership, and they will be directed to report what they plan to do. We've got to get them on board. When I was the internal vice president, I traveled to Wollongong, and they've traveled to Bathurst and addressed their big events there, the Independence Day event. And they've got a lot of things to share. We've got to listen to all this. And I think I'll stop that at that area at this moment. The true team is the new wine that we need to put into the new wineskin. Thank you very much. Thank you for all listening.
Thank you, Bob, for that opening statement. So, Ethel, can you proceed with our next speaker?
Our next speaker is SP Bogson.
SP is a candidate as PRO,
He's
is it?
candidate of Back2Basics as a PRO.
Yeah, back to basics.
As a PRO, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Good morning, everyone. Thank you,
it's your time,
Ronaldo, for
Ethel.
this,
Thank you.
for organizing this one. Para magkakilala tayo lahat. Well, sa bagay, makakilala naman na tayo ever since kasi matagal na tayo sa community. No? You know, kilala ninyo na ako. And, you know, already the past president, the treasurer right now of the Pinaus Association, and Lakas Filipina, the new organization from Blacktown.
Post it here so that it will be viewed.
Woohoo! Lakas!
Oh, there you are.
Treasurer. Hindi na ako right now.
Pag wala kami, sana all.
Well, okay, serious na tayo. I'm a candidate as a PRO this time kasi I want to elevate, you have to put up the PCC now kasi na-crash na ang PCC eh. We have to put it up again. Crash na. We have to put it up, lift up, upgrade the PCC now. So, kawawa naman ang PCC, so this is the time now. Baguhin na natin ang ano ng PCC. Yung pagmumukha ng PCC, maging maayos na ngayon. Kasi na-crash talaga for 2 years, 3 years. 2 years since nag-pandemic, na-crash talaga ang PCC. Kakawa ang PCC, you know. Wala tayong nagawa eh. Wala tayong nagawa talaga ang hindi. Pandemic, wala tayong nagawa eh. Kaya ngayon, after this, sana naman maging ayos ng lahat. So we have to do something. So I have to do my... Kung mapapala rin tayo, do my best as a PRO. Thank you. Yun lang. Kilala nyo na ako eh. Hanggang doon.
Thank you very much, SP. I would like to acknowledge the arrival of Sis Grace. I have to make a disclosure, but that Sis Grace is my sister at the fraternity.
Yeah.
So it will be a public knowledge. So
Sister mo din ako.
everybody will know. I have to be fair to everyone. So Itel, our next speaker, can you introduce please?
Our next speaker is Penny Perfecto from True Team.
Okay, hi. Mga magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Penny Perfecto. Ito po ang aking grupo, yung True Team. Thank you very much for this opportunity po na magpakilala sa inyong lahat. Karamihan dito ay mga kilala ko at naging bahagi ng aking buhay sa pagkikipagtulungan sa community. I think one thing that I came back to be a candidate as a director this time is because of my passion for the community. Ako po ay registered nurse and I have been a health service coordinator for a long time now. Kaya gusto ko ibahagi naman again yung aking pakikipagtulungan sa community dahil marami pa po akong skills or competency na pwedeng ipamahagi. Taga Bicol po ako. Iboto ninyo si Lenny. Anyway, isa sa mga nag-umpisa ng Philippine Pasko Festival. So doon ko na-feel po ang passion ng community. Ang daming naging bahagi ng project na yon. Kaya again, mag-unify tayo and that is what my True Team is all about. The True Team is transparency, respect, unity, and empowerment. Kaya kung sino po ang magiging decision noon, ay sana po ay makipagtulungan tayong lahat. Yes. I know that there's so many things na dapat i-improve sa PCC, and I believe that PCC is a vehicle for the community to serve the people, yung mga Filipinos. I think that is our common goal here anyway. Whoever is the candidate from both sides, dapat talaga i-unify natin. Dapat po ay yung Filipino spirit natin ay nandoon pa rin sa harapan. Regardless of who we are and where we come from. So ako po ay nandoon sa pagre-respeto sa bawat isa. Marami po tayo dito na narinig po sa bawat isa na pwedeng maipamahagi. So I don't think no one should judge that because everyone has a good intention of serving.
And whatever mistakes we had in the past, we should learn from that. So that is how I believe. And being a true Christian, like Mother Teresa, we should never judge anyone. We should put forward the love for the community. I think that's one thing that we Filipinos should recognize, that when, especially with the pandemic, isa po ako sa nasa front line ng health kasi I work with people with disability, and there is so much of the Filipino spirit in all of us. 60% of my workers are Filipinos, and I respect the Filipino spirit. Kasi maski nagkakaroon ng positive COVID, after 14 days of isolation, they come back. They have that fighting spirit, and I think we should sustain that amongst us. Kasi yun ang lesson natin sa buhay, na no matter what, we are brave, we fight, and we have the courage to serve. Yun lang po. Salamat po.
That's Pini. I would like to request Ethel to introduce our next speaker.
Miss Grace.
Okay, Miss Grace.
Grace, come over.
Dito pa sa tabi ko, Grace. Tabi ko.
Naligo pa nga. Good morning po sa lahat. Ako po ay si Grace Liston. Tumatakbo po bilang Vice President Internal sa PCC. I don't know if you can consider me as baguhan din, but I served to the community for 3 years. The person that brought me to PCC was Brad Ronaldo. I came into the first PCC AGM that I attended. I only knew 2 people. That's Brad Ronaldo and his wife, Masita. And I won only just by 1 vote. Ethel too, I met Ethel there. Just by 1 vote. And that opened my eyes to community service. All the years that I have been in Australia, I work at home. Maybe I'm the first online worker here in Australia, because when I came here 15 years ago, I was already working online. And my life is within the boundaries of my home and taking care of my husband. When we go out, he's always with me. I thought I was the only Filipino in Engelberg. But when I joined PCC, it opened my eyes to the diversity of the community. And there's lots of gaps and needs that most of us can really feel it. Ang isa pong ano ko doon ay yung mga vulnerable groups, the elderly, and also our young students. Mga international students na walang pamilya dito. And on my first speech at AGM in PCC, I said, I'm 100% pusong Pinoy. And my vision and what I'd like to do is to uplift the life. Role model in all of the projects that we're going to do, that it could be copied and sustained even in a different culture or even outside of the Philippines. My heart is with PCC. Kasi dito ko po nakita na marami po palang asosasyon sa Australia. Imagine, from me thinking I'm the only Filipino in Engelberg, to knowing that there's lots of associations, Filipino associations here in Australia, na marami ang purpose. Iba-iba ang kanilang vision, iba ang kanilang targets. What we need is just to unify them and put them in one common goal. And I think that's one of the function of PCC. Pag-isahin po lahat at magtulungan sa bawat proyektong ginagawa ng bawat asosasyon. At bago tayo makatulong, kailangan nating intindihin kung ano talaga ang asosasyon na to. So kailangan nating mag-submerge. Kailangan nating hindi lang sila ang mag-approach sa atin.
kailangan tayo ang pupunta sa kanila at tanungin ano po ang may tulong namin sa inyo. And one thing that I've learned also with PCC is the collaboration between associations. A project can be made strong if 1 to 5 associations will collaborate and help. Mas malaki po ang maabot natin at mas malaki po ang impact. Well, sorry po at na-late ako. Galing po ako sa shift ko. Naligo pa po ako kasi baka may dala akong COVID ba? Nakamas pa. Yeah. Nasa ano din po ako, like Penny, nasa NDIS din po ako at age care. Matatanda at saka yung pong ating mga mentally challenged mga tao. So yun lang po, ang masasabi ko lang, I really love PCC. I really love to work with the community. Take note with, not yung sila ang lalapit sa akin. No, with the community. And I'd like to make an impact.
Very much. So, next, Ethel, introduce our next speaker.
Mercy Jones.
Okay, Mercy Jones.
Mercy Jones, Philippine.
I'm Mercy Jones. My real name is Mercedes. Good morning to everyone from the side of B team and Blue team. I left the PCC 2 years now, and now I'm coming back. But then in the beginning of the PCC, I was there in the back bench when Cesar, when Diaz and everyone. It was, I think, 1997 when I was there, 1999, the back bench with the Jimmy Lopez and everyone there, Sinamores and Neria Suleiman and Ronaldo, all, I've been there. My experience, I think I have my integrity. So now I come back as a director nominated by the representative of Multicultural Women's Group of Wollongong and also from Auschwitz Visayan. And because of these changes, like I said, team, transparency, respect, unity, empowerment, I come back as a director. If I win, I focus on this one as usual as I do in the past. For me, I know everyone and I have my own choices. It's up to me. No one can tell me what to do because I know everyone in the PCC. So I'm here because I represent both sides. From Saai, that is Sama, the number one is Leyte and the multicultural. So I have nothing to say except I hope everyone who will join this year will be committed and don't make any excuses. For me, I'm a free woman now. You know, I can travel anywhere like I represent. So for me, everyone, whoever put us on that position, I hope everyone will do the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mercy Jones. Ethel, our next speaker, please introduce.
Speaker is Ms. Ellen Padilla. Mrs. Padilla.
Hey!
Back to basic.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ronaldo and company that inviting us. And this is my first time to attend like this. And aside from that, my name is Eleanor Foster Padilla. And I'm a new in PCC. But not actually new. I always support anything, any project from the PCC, I support. You know me. I'm not new. But in this position, I'm really very, very new. Because the first time I joined in the as board of directors, candidate for the board of directors. Okay, I joined this group. Sumali ako kasi nakita ko yung plataforma nang nag-invite sa akin na sumali. Nakita ko sa kanya na maganda ang hangarin niya para sa community. Kasi ang isang member ng community o maging pinuno ka ng isang community, hindi madali. Hindi madali. Marami kang ingredient lang. At ang sana, ang mangyari sa atin sa eleksyon na to, hindi tayo crab mentality. Alisin natin ang crab mentality sa ganitong asosasyon. Kasi ang crab mentality, once you join, may nakita kang tumataas o umaangat, hinihilang mo pababa. That is a dirty politics from the Philippines, dinadadala dito. Maliit lang tayong community. Bagay hindi tayo maliit, tayo yung pinaka-pikba, di ba? Pero, minsan nangyayari sa akin yan. But my purpose of joining is to help ang pagkakaisa natin sa bawat isa. Magtulungan kung ano ang project ng bawat isa. Magtutulungan tayo, pagkakaisa tayo, yun ang pinakamaganda. Ako, member ako ng Caucus for Christ. Since we arrived to session sa MacArthur. And then sa CRFCC, very active din ako sa mga community. At ako'y nagke-cater. Hindi lang ang cater ko para kumita, kundi para makatulong. Kasi may mga taong they cannot afford to pay na magpunta sa restaurant, lalapit sa akin. Binibigay ko yung halos unan lang. Kasi yun din ang adhikain ko sa buhay yung makatulong. Parang dito sa community na to, kung ako'y papalarin at ako'y mananalo, susuporta ako kahit kaninong partido, magiging fair enough ako para sa lahat. At yun lang, salamat po.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
Ito ang aking hawak na partido.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ellen.
Everybody has done their piece. Now, the next agenda we will have is, if you are elected, tell us your first three plans or project to implement within a 1-year time frame. Because as we all know, the term of office at PCC is only 12 months. So what can you do in 12 months that will provide impact as a community in New South Wales? So anyone would like to raise their hand to speak, to say something?
It's better for us to move to questions and answers because they already introduced themselves in
Okay.
Yun nga question niya. That is the question, what are you going to do?
No, they are citing only kasi nasabi nyo na kanina yung purpose nyo. Why you run. So that's what
Okay.
we're gonna do with the whole year. And this one is the questions because I have many questions, all of you. Isa rin ako na voter. I want to know your purpose and how you're gonna do it.
Okay. Common to us are the objectives of PCC, which are listed in the Constitution. I think there are about 6 of those. And the other thing that you need to consider that PCC is a collegial body. Meaning to say, no one will decide what the...
Water.
Tubig lang. So we have 2 teams competing our votes, the votes of the affiliates. So who would like to speak in behalf of its team?
I'd like to speak for my team.
Yes, that's fine. So go ahead. How about from the True team? Bobby? Okay, go ahead. Cesar, you're the first.
The question is, what are these tangible things? Things that you can deliver in a year's span of 1 year. Yeah, because it's a very short time and we are now trying to change that by an amendment to make it 2 years. So really it's very tough for a new administration or a new management team to deliver something, as you have indicated. So first things first, as I have told you in my introductory message, that we should look at the causes of disagreements, the causes of disunity. And I look at it as in the form of like, we have some problems with communication, so we have to open the lines of communications. And I have been promoting in my campaign materials that I will look at calling on all organizations, affiliated or not with PCC, so once and for all, let us sit down, stress all this out in a closed environment, let us say, without the view of the mainstream community. Ilabas na natin lahat doon ang ating mga problema. At after that, yun yung sinasabi kong summit, a summit of leaders. And after that, let us arrive at something concrete, written in form, a covenant that we will all sign. Let us call for a ceasefire in all these bickerings. Let us look at what will uplift the image of the community. All positive things in the media, in the print or in the social media, let us put only positives kasi we are being watched, we are being observed by the wider community, not only the Filipino community. We have a saying that we should not display our dirty linens in public. So if there are some negative things, let us stress it out, let us sit down. Huwag tayong magpatot sa dahan, magdireksyon tayo ng ating minanais na sabihin at i-resolve natin yan. So number one is that summit. Now we have a problem also with our constitutions. There are so many, I would say, inconsistencies, contradictory provisions, gray areas, there are loopholes. That is why I am proposing that it will be followed by some illustrations or graphics, the flowchart that can be easily understood. Even our lawyers, our member lawyers are interpreting it differently. So that is the cause of disagreements. Nagtatalo-talo, nagpapagalingan on how they understand what is written.
Caesar, question. Can that be implemented within a 1-year frame?
I would say yes, because I will personally attend to it.
Because if you notice so many attempts to conduct a special general meeting just to amend the constitution.
No, we are not amending. What I am saying here is we have the constitution. We will just write in a way, we have the existing provisions, illustrate lang natin in a flowchart. Halimbawa, a grievance procedure. There is a complaint. O dito muna pupunta, gano'n, punta dito, tapos ilang boto ang kailangan. We had a problem.
So you are referring to an implementing rules and regulations.
Implementing illustrated.
And in an illustration form.
If you want, we can maybe ask somebody for a Filipino translation in our own language, our native tongue. You know? So that is number 2. And number 3, tatlo raw eh, sandali lang. Sige, pwede na bang
Mag-back in?
Hindi, sige. While I am talking, sige. Kami nalaglag lang.
Sa tagal ng paulit-ulit na nag-aano tayo ng amendment ng Constitution, hanggang ngayon wala pang naipapasa. Now, ang iniisip ko, hindi ba maganda na yung pinaka-importante na paulit-ulit na lang ginagawa na puro mali, yun ang unahin. Prioritize the same na importanteng paulit-ulit na ginagawa. Ay yung iba, siguro naman ipagpaliban na lang, but yung mga paulit-ulit na nagiging cause ng gulo, yun ang dapat kaagad i-prioritize na ipasa.
Tama ka dyan.
Yan, kasi kailangan may gagawin na i-amend kaagad. May mga sinasabing importanteng gawin na hindi na level up sa ginagawa in processing the issues. Kaya yun ang problema diyan.
Okay, meron tayo part of our bylaw.
Prioritize na kailangan ipasa kaagad.
Hindi kasi ganito, meron tayong bylaws na sinusunod, ano? Meron tayong constitution tomorrow, kung ipapasa. Hindi naman ito ipapasa ng board lamang if you're looking at that. Ipapasa ito ng lahat at kasama kayo doon. Kasama-sama tayo lahat doon na ipasa ito. Kung tuwing AGM na lamang o SGM, tuwing pag-differ, nakadalawang deferment na ito, iyon ang problema. So it is not a particular person, hindi ito yung pumipigil dito. Ang nakakapigil ay yung buong pangkalahatan na sinasabing i-defer yan. Ngayon, yung sinasabi ko naman dito, hindi ko naman sinasabing i-amend ko kaagad yan. Ang sinasabi ko kung ano yung existing, isulat natin na mas madaling maintindihan. User-friendly. And at the same time, magkaroon tayo ng manual of procedures na yung mga ipinapasang mga provisions or mga resolutions, i-compile natin yan para yung mga susunod na set of officers that can be made as a reference. Kasi our constitution is stating that there is a manual of policies and procedures. Wala wala akong makita sinasabi doon, pero wala. So we will start to produce that. So, yun ang sinasabi ko. Yung sinasabi mo naman na i-amend lagi-lagi.
No, I did not say i-amend lagi-lagi. Ang sabi ko yung mga prioritize yung mga paulit-ulit na mistake. Na mga mistakes, na mga areas of mistake na paulit-ulit pinapractice. Which is hindi na nag-level up sa...
Ito yung bukas, pagbobotohan natin yung bukas.
Yun ang dapat magawin kasi yun ang nakakagulo. Every year, parati na lang nagkakagulo. Prioritize yung mga importante na dapat tayo
So, bukod sa rito, ito wala akong...
Order, this is a question and answer. This is not a debate. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, buddy, for that.
Okay.
Hindi tayo...
So you third, Cesar, top three. Let Cesar finish the third one.
Yun nga, sabi ko nga, ito, yung third one ko, isasama ko na yung kay Ethel dito na sinasabi mo. Meron tayong mga tinatawag, yun na ating back to basics. Andun na mga objectives, tignan natin lahat ng gagawin natin ay naka-align doon. Kamukha halimbawa ng ating mga projects, like mga charity projects natin, we have pa there. No? We have 6 objectives, doesn't contain anything that says we are to fundraise. Wala sa objectives natin yun eh. But just the same, this is a noble thing to do. So we are doing it. And we have proven that by collaborating with our affiliates, we should be conducting fundraising together with the affiliates who has those objectives in place.
Okay, noted, Cesar. So can I cut you on that one?
Okay.
You said your piece already. So let's hear from Bobby.
I have to take Manipeni.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, 2 things on the issue about how do we accomplish things. As I've said before, new minds with new mindsets. All these aspirations, maganda yung mga naririnig natin. But it all boils down to one thing. One is leadership. First, we need to elect an inspiring, unifying, and unifying leader. Once you've got that, things could flow on further. Second one, we need to elect as well right-minded people on the team. So with that said, thank you for the invitation and have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Bob.
May dentista lang. See?
Thank you, Penny.
Good luck, everyone. And the Lord bless us.
Thank you. So, we still have the true team. Penny is with us.
What I can do.
Yes, would you like to say something?
Okay. In my
Yes.
capacity as treasurer,
1 minute. Huh?
yeah, if I'm elected, I'm a bit realistic, conflicts, family squabbles, they can never be eradicated. Right? So what I'll bring to the table is strategic thinking. Because if you think strategically, you will look past the family squabbles and irritation. You will always be focused to the main objective. So that's the first one that I'll try to bring to my position. The second one is what Ronaldo said, we are a collegial body. So every decision should have the maximum buy-in. Buy-in the community. Of course, we cannot
True.
right? So, and of course, the third thing is professional, experience in running a financial management group. So those are the three things that I can implement in 1 year.
Thank you, Jess. Would you like to add, Dini?
First of all, dahil umalis na yung dalawa kong kasama sa question and answer, pwede ba ulit-ulit lang kami ni Melky?
No, that's fine.
Equal lang,
That's
equal
fine.
yung sa-
That's okay. We will give everyone equal space.
Yeah. So, pwede kami ulit. Wala.
Yes, that's okay.
Anyway, to answer the question of whether what we can do in a short period of time, it's really a very good question. Dahil wala talagang magagawa, especially nasa pandemic pa rin tayo. Paaninin natin sa komunidad na ang pwede lang natin magawa siguro ay yung dati nangyayari dyan. Ating Philippine Independence Day at saka Piazza. For other projects, mahirap magawa this year. Kasi maliit, February na po ngayon. So, tapos ang term na itong new board ay December. Kaya, let's be honest with each other. Walang magagawa mo bago. Pero, nandyan na po yung pagpaplano para sa paggawa ng mga bago. Okay? So, huwag niyong kalimutan na tayo ay lahat nagbo-volunteer ng sarili natin. Time, resources, minsan pa meron natin sarili para mapabuti ang ating komunidad. So, sinabi ko na nga kanina po, hindi lang narinig yung mga nalate. Sinabi ko po na kaming mga kandidato ay hindi talaga kami, we're not enemies. I want to emphasize that. We are just opposition to each other's for running a particular position in the PCC, the umbrella body. Kaya, pakinggan nyo lang po ang mga sasabihin ng mga kandidato para malaman nyo kung sino talaga ang pwede nyo ilagay doon sa pwesto. Kasi over the years, ako 3 years lang po ako sa PCC, pero nakita ko na po yung how it is done. Sabi nga po ni opposition po sa D2DT na ano yun, senior po ang
Yung sinabi mo kanina, tungkol sa competition, nagko-compete tayo, pati
Pero ibig sabihin po, kaya mamili kayo ng nakarapat-dapat. Kasi marami po tayo sa opposition o kaya sa team na talagang dedicated magsilbi sa komunidad. That's the very important thing. Kasi po, ano yun, passion po rin mga isa't isa sa passionate sa community. So, yun po ang basihan nyo na kailangan iboto nyo yung tao na talagang may integridad. May sinasabi po dynamics siya na leader na pwedeng magbigay ng bagong simula. Bagong simula at saka sigla.
Energy.
Let's unite for once and for all. Kasi ano po kailangan nasa isipan nyo na tayo ay mga Pilipino. We are a proud race po. Hindi naman tayo magkakalaban eh. Hindi tayo maglaban-laban.
Thank you, Demi. At this junction, I would like to request each team, mamaya, Sis Grace, to introduce the whole team. So let's start because I would like to request one from each group to introduce the composition of its team. Because we know that not all candidates are here, so we will. Okay, so who would like to start to introduce the team?
Si Demi. Ask Demi first. Si Demi. Si Demi.
Okay, go ahead, Demi. Make it loud.
I would like to introduce our team. The true team stands for the platform of transparency, respect, unity, and empowerment. Okay? Ang kandidato po namin for president is Freddy Francisco. Kilala po yan sa ating komunidad na may magandang hinahangal para sa community, Filipino community. Ako po, si Demi Robinson, candidate ng DT External. At ako po ay nandito lang sa tabi para
Anahin ko kayo, tutulungan ko kayo sa maabot ng aking makakaya, lalo na po sa paghanap ng government grants. Okay. Pangalawa po ay si Bobby Lastica, candidate for DB Internal. Siya po ay public servant ng New South Wales government at saka laging officers po ng PCC for a long period of time po. Ang aming pong secretary ay si Banji Leones. Si Banji po ay running for secretary. Siya po ay current director ng PCC. Si Dennis Laksamana po ay candidate for treasurer and also a finance. Tapos sa PRO po, we have Dave Tan, a young blood na pwede nating bigyan ng pagkakataon na makapag-participate sa ating mga decision making. Tapos po yung sa ating auditor ay si Chris Sayas, meron po naman siyang background for accounting and management. Sa directors po ay ito po si Dr. Fabian sa General Practitioner, Lillian McKinnon, Welfare Officer, Mercy Jones, ito po yung magandang single ngayon. Mercy, si Ray Morcilla, another accountant po. Tapos si Penny po kanina nagsalita. Tsaka po si Maureen, yung taga-Ateneo, na bata pa rin, na pwede natin ibotong makatulong natin sa ating proseso. Salamat po!
Thank you very much, Dimi. So let's move on to the other team.
Okay, thank you very much, Ronaldo. This composition of our team, and as everyone has mentioned, and as you have mentioned, yung board of directors po ng PCC New South Wales manage ng council, and we are a collegial body. Ibig sabihin po, hindi isa lang, Mr. Presidente, hindi siya lamang na nagdidesisyon. Pantay-pantay po ang lahat. Kaya po ang aming mga larawan dito, our pictures, equal po yan. Walang malaki, walang maliit. Pare-pareho po boto yan eh. Isa-isa lang eh. Ngayon, kaya equality. Ngayon, ako po tumatakbo bilang Pangulo. I've been with the PCC since 2004. Type 28, ako'y director, naging Vice President, naging Treasurer po ako ni Neria, naging Vice President Internal po ako ni Jimmy, at naging Director ako ni Evelyn Reed, at ngayon nga ay ako'y VP External ni Albert Bulseco. Kaya yun po ang aking experience at nakita ko kung paano mga ups and downs nga ng PCC at nakita ko nga, ang tagal ko nang sinasabi ang mga dapat gawin at mga pero hindi ko ako marinig dahil hindi ko ako nagiging presidente ito. Siguro this time, baka magagawa na natin. Ngayon, ang Vice President po for external natin ay si the total performer, si Lilian de los Reyes. Been with the community since we can remember dahil laging may pro bono to. She always gives her performances for the community. Singer, ating na Tagalog. But in this case, I am representing the Knights of Rizal. Ngayon si Grace Riston, katabi ko po. Siya ay sa apo, kabrad po ni Ronaldo, ay sister ni Ronaldo. Brad po si Ronaldo, sister to ni Ronaldo. Sa Alpha Pi Omega at saka president po ng Philippine-Australian Multicultural Association of PAMCA. Si Grace ngayon is doing yung sa mga elderly, yan ang ginagawa ngayon. Si Dara struggling now for so many years. Been there, repeatedly, binoboto, gusto siya ng ating mga affiliates. Hindi po natatalo sa eleksyon ng PCC. Sa Ilawara, sa region po siya. We are on video.
Because you're challenged. Hindi mo lang natatalo. Ito the reason to answer
Ito po ang aming newbie na sinasabi natin, although has been a president of our Engineers Association for so many times at been with the community, pero first time niya sasali sa board or mag-aspire that position. Treasurer, engineer po ito, CPA. Dalawang kombinasyon po yan. And he is the current president of Philippine-Australian Engineers Association, of which I've been a president too. We have SP Paulson for PRO. Si SP po ay isa sa mga stalwarts ng ating Ilocano Association. Dijay ba tawag and Lakas Pilipina. Ito, sa Campbelltown po siya nakatira. Oo. Si SP Pagson at Sheila Colyantes po, ang ating hot mamas, mainit po. Hot mamas at siya rin po ay involved sa My Redeemer Lives, isang bagong asosasyon na nagsusulong ng pagtulong sa mga ating mga unfortunate or sabihin less fortunate na nagka-problema sa ating batas. Ngayon, sa mga director ko, ito batikan, been there for so many years. Si Emily Dingle-Rad ng Osolubianso ng Pangasinan Association. Si Emily, kilala ng lahat. She will bring yung kanyang maturity and wisdom. She will bring that to the team. Si Maribel Declaro, is the president of Students Association. She will represent the youth, yung kabataan natin.
New
Yes,
faces.
si Maribel.
Ay, hindi ko kilala.
Titignan natin bukas dahil kasi away daw siya. We have Ellen Padilla here of CRFCC, Campbelltown Region, at saka yung mga Santo Niño Association at sa Campbelltown. Caterer po yan. Kung kailangan nyo ng caterer, ayan, si Ellen, may caterer kami. At Ellen Padilla po, matin pong makakatulong ng malaki. We have Presi Santos of si Pinaus. Ito po sa Eastern Samar. Si Presi Santos, nurse po ito. Kaya makakatulong na si elderly frontliner sa COVID. No? We have a cake maker, si Ben Bongat. Si Ben Bongat po, nire-represent niya ang ang Peña Francia, Australian devotees of Our Lady of Peña Francia. This is the 10th half of the Peña Francia Festival. Every September, ang Peña Francia. Viva Birhen. Si Ben Bongat po, may maturity, siya nag-infuse din po siya ng kanyang wisdom sa ating sama. Ito po, veterana at isa sa mga founding members kataas sa PCC. She played host to the very first AGM ng PCC as I have read in its history. Si Limikan, kung kailangan nyo something healthy, gusto nyo ng tubig na malinis, Kangen water po. Kaya may water po dyan, may caterer po tayo at meron po tayong cake maker. May entertainer, si Lilian, may dancer, si Jess and Bernie.
Ready to go.
Si Sheila also dancer din yan. Kompleto po yan. Kompletos Ricardos. Salamat po.
Thank you, Cesar. How many members of the council?
How many?
In the council, how many?
15.
15. There are members of the council as per constitution, diba?
Constitution.
But if you look at your flyer, you have less than 14 in there.
Oh,
How many do you have in your true team?
the same.
So, ibig sabihin, pag
What does that mean?
director,
Can you explain?
They can
somebody from the opposite team. Ay,
Ayun.
okay lang naman. To say openly. Kasi unfair yun sa mga ibang
Kukunin mo na ako.
Saka na yan, wag dito. Open kasi para hindi mapa-invite.
Sama mo ng treasurer.
Sama mo na yung
Seven. Kailangan makompleto yun.
Kailangan kompleto yan.
Kailangan seven yung director. Seven.
That's why I asked that one because you are presenting a less number of directors as per constitution. No, that's why I mentioned that one.
We are opening to everyone. We want a mix. Dahil sabi nga ni Demi, hindi tayo pare-pareho tayo ng gusto. May the best man and women.
Okay, it's clear. Thank you for that. The next question will be how, we have what we call as PCCNSW Advisory Board.
Ito question.
Okay? So, I know it's a hot topic in the community and the role of the past president. So, in the Constitution, we have a provision in there where there are the past president to compose the PCCNSW Advisory Board.
Ano ang tanong mo?
The question is, how do you manage or what do you plan to engage as far as the advisory board is concerned?
So, think I have to answer that first, being a candidate for president.
Yes.
Our constitution says that the immediate past president will chair the advisory committee. And the advisory committee as per constitution is composed of the past presidents, as you have mentioned, plus, yun ang nalilimutan natin, hindi lamang po past presidents ang pwede maging member ng advisory committee. Yung po rin pwedeng i-appoint ng board, ng current board or existing board, or on the recommendation of the president. Kaya hindi po automatic yan. At meron nga tayong, we have this new amendment yata that I read na hindi lahat ng past presidents will be made part of it. Meron kasi tayong mga past presidents na they are no longer promoting the council and instead they are working against the council. So how can you put somebody there who is working against the council? So it has to be selected.
You don't say that. That's very negative.
May mga sinabi ko, and this is true, this is the fact na mayroong nag-run against the objectives of the council. So it is up to the new board, to the new president. Everyone is welcome to be part of the advisory committee, all the past presidents. Mine-mention ko lang, ma'am, if we are promoting the council, let us talk about the good things about the council. And that is what, because that is, it reflects on the wider community. Yun lamang. At I am a president who is willing to sit down and talk. As I have said earlier, I would like to open the lines of communication. I would like to sit down, trace out all the bickerings, all these irritants in the community. So I will listen if elected.
Okay.
You said that if those past president against the council, that this is something against the council and they are not anymore promoting PCC. I don't think that it is also healthy that we always give good credits to the PCC when it is not. They are entitled to say something that they are seeing in bad situation. May karapatan silang magsalita kung ano ang mga nangyayari dyan sa PCC na hindi magaganda. So, hindi lang pwedeng sabihin na they will promote in good ways. They also have the right to say something back to the PCC. What is going on around in PCC? That is balance. That is balance. So you cannot keep on saying good things PCC when it is not in reality. We always have put in balance bad and good para ma-address ang issue.
Okay, we live in a democracy.
Can you recognize?
I have to answer kasi meron opinion.
1 minute.
So ang point dito, hindi naman sinasabi hindi sasali o walang karapatan magsalita. Ang sinasabi lamang dito, ang tanong ay how do you manage? Kaya I mentioned na hindi nag-iisang kaisipan ng mga past presidents. So you have to manage those who are saying things against and those who are saying good things. Plus, ang minimension ko nga dito is the amendment. Sinabi ko lamang yung proposed amendment na not all the past presidents can be member of kung ma-approve yung amendment. But if not, kasama lahat.
At para sa akin,
Teka muna, para sa inyo yan eh.
objective ang isipin. Objective ang isipin. Hindi yung may mga exclusive lang na pakakampingin.
Okay.
Nagsasalita ako, paano gagawin natin?
Okay. Let's listen to Demi's reaction.
Okay, ang question kasi under the Constitution, ang mga vice presidents ay past presidents pala ay member ng tinatawag na advisory committee ng PCC. Yung pong leader doon ay immediate past president. Medyo po, siyempre, sabi nga ng sa isang pagkakutan dito na lahat ng presidente pong ng PCC, hindi naman yan unified sa kanilang pag-isip. So, ibig sabihin, iba-iba kanilang sino yung nakakatingin ko na medyo may negative na nakikita, di siyempre, pwede po sila mag-express ng kanilang pero, democracy in action. Kaya kailangan natin, pag-isipan din natin ang advisory committee yan, kung ano po ba talaga ang power niya. Kasi,
hindi pwede yung IDP lang ang may power. Kasi po pwede siyang hindi mag-call ng meeting, pwede niyang i-deny ang meeting, yung hinihingi ng mga members. So, kailangan pag-aralan din po yan na kailangan magkaroon tayo ng advisory body na talagang committed sa PCC. Okay? Yun lang po.
Thank you, Demi. Let's listen from HP
Okay,
because
what I
we haven't heard
understand
much.
from Cesar's side is that for the amendments of the Constitution, there is a provision there that there are past presidents who are not functioning and not anymore joining the advisory board. So that's the amendment. What we should do with them? They are the past president, but they never, how many years they are never attending any meeting or any functions of the PCC. So that's the amendments in there.
Buti pa, basahin natin para malinaw eh.
That's what I understand.
Mahaba.
Dalawa lang linya lang naman to. Please allow me to
That's
read
why
it.
that's what I
Let
understand.
SP
what
finish
are going
first.
to do with the advisory board for the past
So
president.
how do you classify them?
Kasi ang sabi
No,
niya
If
kanina,
they will,
sa
if those that doesn't support now PCC, how are you going to classify them now?
So they're no longer they are a past president. Yes, they are a past president, but they don't care anymore about PCC. So why they should include? We don't include them already in the advisory board. I'm with that.
No, that's fine. I heard what you're saying.
Okay, let me clarify about this advisory kasi nami-misinterpret yung mga yan.
Yeah.
Yung confusion eh. It creates
That's what I understand with it.
What I would like to suggest is read the existing provision of
Yeah.
the Constitution related to the advisory board
What is the
and compare what is being
Yes.
proposed.
Yeah.
I will have to propose muna dahil
Okay.
it is on my hand now. Ano?
Yeah,
Basahin ko lang kasi na this is proposal, hindi pa ito.
Yeah. Hindi pa.
Section 42 raw, the advisory committee shall have the past presidents as members, provided the past president has not acted in a manner prejudicial to the interest of the council as determined by the board. Nagkaano lang siguro against, but prejudicial is also parang against me. The past president's organization is a financial member of the council. So, hindi pa naman approve ito eh. Kasi yun nga, I can mention briefly, yung existing provision is that all past presidents will be a member of the advisory committee, plus those that will be appointed by the board or the president. On recommendation of the president.
That's only a proposal.
Hindi, yung mination pangalawa, it is existing. Ito ang proposal.
Yun nga, yung proposal. So we will know kung
The next question on that proposal is that how does the board determine? Because it says as determined by the board. What are that's a long discussion. But I'm just would like to ask how's the board is going to determine whether, you know what I mean?
The board, collegial nga eh. It will be a collegial decision.
Okay, so we're now on the final leg of our event. One last minute each for a final pitch. A question that you need to ask is, why do we trust you? Why does the voters will trust our votes to you as to be elected as the new officers of the council? One word only. Why should we trust our votes to each one of you to be the next officer of the PCC?
Why should they trust me? I'm here for
What is it?
one word sabi mo.
Yes, one.
Track record.
How about you, Jess?
Trust is something that is earned.
Okay, you're promoting the trust team anyway.
Yeah, so-
So how about you? Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So trust is something that is earned. It is not something that you claim.
Yeah. Parehas yan ng respect.
Yeah.
Just know you
So,
know.
so with that philosophy, you know, I believe that
Convince me.
you know,
Talk to her
we
later.
always have buy-in. Get the buy-in of the community in our decision, because that will develop trust, and that will prevent petty family squabbles. Right? So That is all that I can say.
Okay, thank you, Jess. How about you, Ellen? In one word, in 1 minute?
Trust and respect.
Trust and respect.
And listen to whatever the problem is. So we sit down. If any problem, sit down so we can solve the problem.
Listen and act on the problem, you mean? Okay, so how about Madam SP?
Well,
Why you want my vote, Madam
I
SP?
want your vote, Ronaldo. Me too.
Go ahead, SP.
No, kidding aside, I've been in the community for how many years already? Even if I am not in PCC before, I'm always support PCC. Since I can't remember already the date or the year when I was with PCC, I was with PCC very long time and I love PCC and the way I always support and the way we are doing is all for the community, and this is a voluntary job and I love doing it, with my
Okay.
whole heart.
Thank you, SP. How about Mercy? 1 minute. Your last minute. Your last speech. Forgetting the vote of Ellen. Forgetting the vote.
We give our vote to you. I trust you.
Lord, remember,
Not only me, but all the others. Huh?
you should give your vote to me.
Not Ronaldo, hindi niya sabihin yung mga
To everyone, I know everyone except this man.
Yes, yes.
You will vote?
You are new to me, so I have no comment. But as I said, the people of the council, ours is still down there, while the others is up.
I like that.
All up, except us, still down, not recognized properly. So it's better to promote the Filipino wider, not just in one area,
Okay, thank you, Mercy. So let's move on to our Vice President external candidate, Demi.
Wala akong masasabi, kundi good luck sa lahat. Ako po ay retired na. Ay, hindi, retired accountant po, kaya meron po akong experience kung paano natin mapapabuti ang ating financial accountability. Yan lang po sa akin, kasi importante po yan. Dahil ang pera po ng PCC ay hindi pera ng PCC board. Pera po natin lahat.
Community.
So, kailangan po may transparency yan. So, one of the reasons when I retired, ang pinaka-objective ko is to serve the community. Yung po ang purpose of life ko Wala naman po akong gagawin. Ano kung gagawin ko? So, kailangan ko ang tulong ng ating kababayan. So, pag-igihin nyo ang pag-boto, hindi po yung basta lang popular. So, kuha nyo ako, hindi ako popular. Pero, meron naman po ko yung sabi. Marunong po ng konti. Yun lang po.
Thank you, Demi. So, Sis Grace raised her hand earlier. So, Sis Grace, it's your turn.
Simple lang po. To have trust, we should have the love and the passion. The heart should rule the brain. The brain should not be the one ruling the heart. Kasi pag know it all ka, and bakit ako tumatakbo doon as VP internal? Because I really would like to increase the membership of the PCC and reach the regional areas. Yung po, marami po tayong Pilipino talaga sa regional areas. At COVID made it happen for us. Marami na ngayon marunong mag-Zoom. And they're technologically adept now. So they don't have to come here in New South Wales to travel to attend our meetings. They can join us via Zoom. And affiliates, but also reaching other communities that felt left alone in the rural and the regional areas.
Thank you, Sis Grace. For the record, how many voters do we have for tomorrow?
We have 55.
55.
We can vote, but the total number of affiliates now is 57.
At
Because
57.
I have two new ones who have not
When did they register? Kasi di ba 6 months?
Yeah, they're not.
Hindi, yung dalawa nga hindi pwede. Yung 55 lang ang pwede out of the 57.
So only 55 can vote. 55 affiliate.
Oh, andito ang may dala kang list.
Okay, thank you. That's fine. Thank you very much. Before I will say my closing, you said it earlier. Did you?
Ganito, tapos na ako kasi ganito. Akala ko ang tanong niya, one word in 1 minute pala eh. Nasabi ko agad, in 1 word is track record. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, you can trust me because I've been there for so long sa community.
Okay.
Sa PCC, 15 years. And the other community, I would say a total of 20 years now in the community. I came, we are now in Australia since I migrated, 25 years. Kaya, maipagtanong-tanong na lang, especially sa Knights of Rizal, from November 2019, I rose to the ranks until I became the overall or the regional commander of the Knights of Rizal, composed of 7 chapters all over. For 5 years, I am their regional commander. Kaya ipagtanong na lamang po kung ako'y dapat pagtiwalaan at kung ano po ang aking mga ginawa. Yun na lamang po, hindi na ako magsabubuhat ng bangko.
Okay, thank you, Cesar. Okay. Before I will give my last statement, I would like to request Ethel to give her last statement as well, being my co-host in this morning's event.
Dapat nakatayo ka dito eh.
Okay lang.
I would like to express everyone thank you for coming and it's a very successful interaction and it's very good that we know you today, your purpose, your goal to our PCC commitment to serve the community. And thank you for your time for coming here.
Thank you very much, Ethel. Very nice
Kahit
statement.
short message lang ang invitation nyo, but we try our best.
Thank you very much. Now,
Ronaldo and Ethel, that's why
let me say my piece this time. Thank you very much for coming. As I said, Ellen, despite the short invitation, you showed up.
We are ready anytime.
You showed up.
Even at short
You
notice.
you said your piece.
Yeah, but it's a very good interaction.
And this is a way, our contribution to the community, to inform, to notify, to let the community knows your plans, your objectives, your purposes, and the positions you're running.
Yes.
Yes.
I received messages, calls, texts, FB messages, among other things, but I have to apologize. I never responded to them because I need to be fair to everyone.
Yes.
That's why, that's one of the main purpose why we organize this event. This is the right opportunity for everyone
Voice out.
to say their piece.
Yes.
It would have been better if majority of the candidates showed up, but at any rate, we're very much thankful to each one of you as our guests.
Thank you.
This is not our first. We will have maybe a series of talk show, if we call it.
Yes.
After tomorrow, we will have a talk show. You can have it live via YouTube channel. We're happy to provide you the opportunity, the vehicle, the tools, so that this is a very good tool to interact the bigger New South Wales Filipino community as well.
Yeah.
As mentioned by Sis Grace, everybody is now expert on Zoom, but this is more of a public exposure. This is a vehicle to inform everyone on who we are, what we're doing, and what we intend to do in New South Wales and Australia as a community representing the Philippines. So good luck to everyone. I don't have tomorrow. That's clear. I will show up, and we are friends in the community. We will end as friends in the community as well after tomorrow. as past president of PCC New South Wales. I think I will qualify to be at the advisory board.
It depends. No, not really.
And others as well. And thank you. And we will have a group photo after this live coverage.
Yes.
Saan tayo?
So thank you very much. I will now end the live coverage in this morning's event. So stay safe.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow at the General Assembly meeting of the community.
Registration is 2:30 p.m.
The most awaited EGM so far as in the history of
The most
PCC New South
controversial
Wales.
AGM
The most awaited. Thank you.
the century.
Saan natin mapapansin?
It's online already. You can go to Philippine.